Howdy folks, Adriel the Hunting Gear Guy. I want to show you guys this Leight Impact Sports electronic earmuffs. These are incredibly popular, probably the most popular electronic earmuffs out there right now. And the primary reason is the price. They're right around 50 bucks. You can get them on Amazon or at a lot of local shops. And the second reason, they fold down really compactly. So because they fold down so nice and tight like this, you can throw them in a range bag very easily, and they're not going to get wrecked because there's not really a lot to wreck here. It's got the band kind of protecting it all the way around. It's got these, it does have a cord that goes between them because it only has power on one side, but that's not a super big deal, I don't think at least. It's got microphones right on the front here, one on each side. On the left side we have these on-off switch as well as volume. We also have a headphone jack at the bottom here. Now this headphone jack, when you plug in, it'll still have the microphones on, but it'll also have the music on. Or one of the cool things I saw actually was using like an IPSC timer on your phone and then plugging it into your headphones so you're at the range kind of thing, right? You've got your headphones on, you've got this guy plugged into your phone's got your IPSC timer, you hit the button, well, I assume you've got a really long cord here, your phone's sitting on the table, and you wait for the beep, beep, and then you draw and do your practice. So that's one of the cooler things that I heard about these, just using that headphone jack on. Now, these use a cutoff technology, so some of the better headphones out there will use a sound compression where they compress the sound so that when a gunshot goes off, you hear the gunshot. It's just not very loud. What headsets like these do is just cut it out entirely. They just turn off the microphones while there's shooting going on. It's fine, I guess, but if you're on a really active range, what'll happen is that you'll hear people talking. They'll talk like this. And it's really hard to follow like what's going on because there's cuts whenever there's a shot that's happening, right? So that's why compression headsets are generally better, generally more expensive, whereas these are really inexpensive. So let's talk a little bit about the materials on this thing. Again, this is a 2-year-old set, so it's been around the block kind of a thing. The headband is not real leather, but it's vinyl and it's close enough. And again, this one's seen some wear and tear, and it's living up just fine. It's got these wire kind of push-in style adjustments for the headset, so you can see there it just kind of goes in and out, which is inexpensive, I guess. Like, I don't really think these wire things are all that great. They kind of suck, like going in and out of that plastic. But you only have to do it once, and then they go on your head and you're good to go, right? Now, I think one of the cooler things about these headsets is just the way that they collapse so easily. So once you've got those in, boom, it's in, and it gets down to that nice small size, and you really do feel like you can chuck it in your range bag and it'll be fine, and you'll get it out when you get to the range, kind of a thing. Some other sets don't feel that way. Now, one thing I didn't really like about the longevity of these headphones, again, they're a couple years. The ear cups on here have already started to harden, and they're not really cushy anymore. So if you were to wear safety glasses, which you should at the range, they actually don't seal fantastically around those glasses anymore. And you know, the cups are kind of thin, and that's for a reason. I mean, these are really, really thin headsets. Here's some passive headsets just for comparison. Like, yeah, these you could stack 2 of these just for one of these, and these are really thin, but they've lost that cushioness on these things. These are about the same age. They're starting to peel a bit here, but they're a lot softer, and there's still a lot more cushion left on there. So when you wear these things with safety glasses on, they still seal really well. I'll just put my fingers in there, and they're still sealing quite well. Whereas these guys here don't really do it anymore. Let's just get down. The other thing that I've noticed is that the clamping pressure that these put on isn't quite as good anymore. And I think it might be the swivels, but when I first put it on, it's not sealing at all on the bottom here. And I feel like with a little bit more pressure, it would be so much better if this headband just put a little bit more pressure. It would seal really, really well. But I digress. Wearing these things, if you put your glasses in there, it's not going to seal at all. It's again, these are a little bit old. They're 2 years old, so they're not sealing quite as well on the cut material anymore. Now, the audio quality out of these things is actually pretty good. Keep your microphones pointed forward. If you just bought a set of these, keep the microphones pointed forward. And I can hear my own voice very well, and I can hear sounds in the environment very well. I can hear that rustling. I can kind of echolocate it because I know it's in front of me and I can kind of see it. But it's actually pretty good with these two microphones, just being able to hear in stereo. It's not like the real thing, but it's kind of close enough to where I wouldn't mind that much. Now, if I were to go hunting, these would work. This would be a perfectly, if you've got like a really big braked rifle, like if you have a 300 Win Mag with a muzzle brake, or a 338 Lapua, definitely with a muzzle brake, you would definitely want to wear hearing protection shooting those kinds of rifles. And this kind of thing would provide enough protection to get you by with one shot, let's say. This isn't something that I wouldn't like go to the range and shoot like 20 rounds of 50 BMG with just these guys on. But would I wear these instead of nothing when I was going hunting? Absolutely. And with these electronic hearing muffs, you're going to be able to hear stuff around you as well. Now, they have a cutoff after 4 hours, which that's a really good thing, because forgetting to turn these things off and having the batteries die sucks. But that's one good thing about the circuitry. One bad thing is that they suffer from interference pretty badly. So if you have them on max volume and they're just kind of open like this, they can start to squeal a little bit. The other thing that I've noticed is that if they're near a cell phone, or if you have someone's like making a call or something like that at your range, you'll hear like the cell phone interference with these guys, because they do take on interference quite easily. But all in all, I mean, we're talking about a $50 pair of electronic earmuffs. I mean, most decent passive earmuffs cost like $20, so these are just a little bit bump up in price, and they fold down quite nicely. So, you know, all things have to be relative to price, and I think when you talk about price, these things are an excellent purchase for the price. Thanks for watching.